Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. And this is a general or collective reading, so just be aware. Whoops, excuse me, parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Excuse me, I wasn't coughing, but now I am. I don't quite know what that's about. There we go. All right, I just wanted to make sure that you're going to be able to see this at the end. The underlying energy for this reading from the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness on the planet. And it also is representing money, of course, because money is a big part of that. So the element of earth is represented by a coin. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live if you don't have your health or love in your life. So this is saying this is more about lifestyle. And the reward is for following your path in life, your destined goal, God's plan, and you're following your North Star energy. And then we have the Empress. So this is off to a good start. So if you are at an Empress energy, this is talking about, the Empress is from the major arcana in tarot, and she embodies the qualities of all the four queens from the minor arcana because she's had a lot of life experience and still has managed to maintain being on her destined path, which is basically being the best version of you that you can be. And she's known to be pregnant with possibility, so sometimes this card does represent pregnancy. And we also have a card here that's representing conception. So just know that you are highly fertile at this time if you're watching this. And if you're not wanting to create a baby, make sure you take care not to. This energy is talking about the ability to manifest. And so the Empress manifests by making plans, putting them in place, and then she lets it go. She leaves it up to the universe to provide. So the wheat at her feet represents how she manifests. She's decided, okay, I'm going to grow a crop of wheat. Now, is it wheat or is it durum? Okay, I'm going to grow wheat, which is the best field to put it in. And so she chooses the field, and then she makes sure that she takes a look at the soil and makes sure that if there's any amending that it needs, fertilizer, etc., that she will make sure that's happening. Then she will clear all the rocks and the stones and anything that would damage the seeding and harvest equipment, and then seed it at the most opportune time for that crop. And after that, she waves her magic wand and says, okay, nature, do your thing. She's an organic farmer, so she doesn't spray. I forgot to mention the underlying energy from my oracle. I pulled the two cards. I did I've been doing a little meditation before the readings here and there when I have the time. And the underlying energy from my oracle, Tales from the Vector, is the card number 56, Jealousy. And this energy is talking sometimes about sibling rivalry, and we're all siblings on the planet. So sometimes we can be jealous of anyone. This is a karmic space that we can fall into. And it's funny, jealousy is a funny thing. We can even be jealous of an old or new version of ourselves that we haven't been yet. Like, we could be jealous of ourselves when we were like 20 pounds lighter, or looking into the future when we have that degree, that type of energy. So this is a painting that I did, and it is from a vision that I saw when I was in Peru in ceremony with shamans. And this is talking about one of the karmic spaces and jealous. So there's something about jealousy Sometimes people are jealous of the Empress because it appears that she just does things so easily, and that's because she's in the flow. But she actually does put her, puts the effort into her plans, and then does what she has to do to make it happen, and then she doesn't worry about it, and so she just lets it flow. And this is the Seven of Pentacles. So there's some sort of energy here, and it's really interesting because this is between an Empress and an Emperor, and they're missing some sort of pentacle energy here. So what happened here? The pentacles, in the tarot, the 10 pentacles is the ultimate that you can have. And this person is used to being successful. This is 7 pentacles. The most 10 pentacles would be like billionaire, trillionaire status, and the 9 pentacles would be like multimillionaire, and then 8 millionaire. So this would be, up there. And this is talking about someone who's used to success. Both of these people are used to success, but there's some sort of project here that's just not taking. And they put the time, I feel that this is a couple, and they put the time and the energy into this, but it's not happening. And they're wondering why. Like normally they're used to having success. So they're discussing like, what more could we do? Is there something we missed? Is this something that we should just continue doing? Or should we let this go? What's the problem here? And the Emperor is representing the energy of all the 4 kings from the Minor Arcana. And so this is someone who's high level performance. He actually wears his armor underneath his robe, so that if there's an opportunity going by, he's going to grab it, and he's ready. He's ready to fight for what's his. He's at the top of his game. He's high level performance. This is an alpha male energy. And so the 2 of these together are a major power couple, but something is not working out here. Now this is the element of fire, the wands. There's 8 wands here, and this represents something that has been launched. And it's interesting because generally this card will say that something was launched, and it should be landing. But I don't feel like it is for some reason. And actually, this sometimes can represent actual conception, like of a baby. Maybe they're having difficulties with getting pregnant. That could be an energy. They're able to do, to succeed when it comes to everything else. But maybe for whatever reason, this one project is not working out. So we'll continue on here, and we'll just see what happens here. We have the Queen of Wands, and so the Queen of Wands is talking about being happy. The sunflower represents that. She follows God's plan. That keeps her, she is, this banner behind her represents the thin veil between the spiritual and the physical realm. And the Queen of Wands is very, very good at using her intuition combined with her logic to come to creative solutions to any problem. Yet, if this is one of the energies of the Queen, that she's used the Empress who manifests in the same way, it's just coming up. This may be that energy isn't hitting the mark for some reason. So, or this could be a different person here. This is talking about, she has this little black cat, and she doesn't worry about, a lot of people won't have a black cat because they are superstitious, but she doesn't believe in superstition. And this wand represents the element of fire. It represents, it's made of wood because wood fuels fire, and it's also from a tree. So the deep roots of the ancestors, as well as the descendants, the offshoots. And I'm just wondering if that's what the issue is here, is no offshoots. And then we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess energy is talking about using your intuition. Now, she's sitting in between these 2 pillars. And I'm getting this feeling like her great gift as the High Priestess is to be able to get neutral to the energy coming at her. All of this in the background represents a lot of energy coming in, from 2 extreme sides. And information does equal energy. The more information we have, the more energy we have. A lot of people will say like, oh, it just feels like the days are flying by, like time is speeding by so fast I can't keep up. And that's because we're in a time of super information. And that makes things move much quicker. And she's sitting in between these two extremes, and she has to get neutral to all this information so that she can choose which is the information to go on to make this project work. And this is talking about being sort of caught in between the middle. So sometimes when you're caught in the middle and you're in a tug of war, the only thing to do is just let go of the rope and let things fall where they may. And I feel like that's one of these situations. And, she's sitting, the high priestess is literally sitting in between extremes of all, because this is representing Jesus and this is the devil. So there's a lot of information coming at her. And we'll see. It doesn't have to be about pregnancy, but I'm picking up that kind of energy. And what is the jealousy about? We're going to keep going here. We have, look at this, we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is coming in as well now, and she's sitting on this energy. And this is, the Queen of Cups represents someone who is the most maternal of all of the queens. And she represents the maternal bloodline. And for some reason, this energy is coming up quite a bit here. Like this person wants to be a mother and it's not happening. That's the energy I'm picking up. She is a container of unconditional love. She has a lid on her container because she is representing that she is that container and she can hold that energy. It's a really interesting how like it's sitting on these two extremes with all the information. Maybe they've gone to great lengths, to produce a baby. And, of all the people you would, that's the one thing and it's interesting. I feel like it's just coming up what she wants more than anything. She can grow crops. She can do this. She can do that. This kind of reminds me of the energy of the Empress in my oracle. This is Angers, the Crystal Queen, and she was the first dragon from the future that came to me when I started this back in 2007. And she laid all the eggs for all the crystals across the earth. She lived in a castle in Patagonia in Brazil. And so she's up in she for eons was laying these beautiful veins of all these beautiful crystals and minerals that we have on the earth. And yet she could never, every egg she laid would turn into a crystal instead of a little dragon baby. And, she was very sad about it, but she didn't give up and she just kept working on it. And eventually she did have a little baby dragon. And so it just kind of reminds me of that story. So maybe that's, I've been showing the paintings from my oracle a little bit more. I'm working on it. I'm planning to bring it out as an oracle, but I'm working on the information with all of you now. I have information on my website, but I don't have, I haven't put enough practice in with the cards yet. Like to put them into practice is what I mean. So the Justice, it feels like such an injustice because she can manifest anything except the one thing that she loves and wants the most. So this card is saying there might be some justice coming in, and perhaps there is some jealousy. Maybe, it's hard when you really want something and everybody around you seems to have it with ease and you're used to having ease, but that's the one thing that you really want is the one thing that you don't seem to be able to produce. Interesting energy. And this is talking about, what it reminds me of too, is quite often, like, the Empress is like, or a Tsar energy. These are Russian dolls. And it reminds me of like when, the Romanovs had, 5 daughters and then they had the one son finally. And they had to have a son. Like it was like, for the monarch or for them to be able to continue to rule. And so it's kind of that kind of pressure. And so it might be, maybe she can have children, but she hasn't had a male child, and it has to be a male, that type of energy. Isn't that interesting? Why is that coming up in this day and age? I guess that still is important these days in royalty, in monarchies. I don't really know that much about the rules of it, but it could be something like that. I know back then with the Romanovs, I think she had like four girls, and then one, and finally had the boy. Yeah, that type of energy. So the justice is maybe coming in around that, and it's really interesting because that's sitting on the conception and this being in her natural happy order. So it doesn't have to be that, but I just feel like it's interesting that it's coming up. So we'll continue on. The justice that we're talking about here is moving forward. Her right foot is forward, so she's ready to implement justice when she gets the word from the Most High. She's got her sword up and ready to wield. And justice also, it can be talking about redemption of karma. So redemption of karma is, karma, a lot of people feel it's punishment, but it's actually cause and effect for your actions or your inactions. So you can have direct karma, like you do something or you don't do something and someone suffers because of it. And that energy is then direct karma. And then you can have indirect karma, where your ancestors weren't able to clean up their act before they left the realm and moved into the spiritual realm. And then it's up to the bloodline to clear that energy and the karma there. And that's indirect. And indirect can also be people you associate with, and like in work and your friends, any associations that you have with others. And also we have karmic spaces that we fall in, and one of the karmic spaces is jealousy. And you can see all of these dolls are very beautiful, but some are looking at each other and giving them the side eye. Like, how come your rose is bigger than my rose? That type of energy. Typical sibling rivalry. Here we have it. So this could be talking about sibling rivalry. How many dolls are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 5. So, this can be talking about sibling rivalry, immature competition. Think about, this is my Mean Girls card, so it's just making me laugh because I was just saying that it could be siblings. And so this energy is talking about, like, think of narcissistic cheerleaders, and they are at a competition, and I'm talking like maybe grade 6 to grade 10 type of energy, and they see that, they really want that trophy, and they see the other team that's competing there. There's one team there that is better than them, and they can tell, but they want that trophy, so they'll do anything. They'll trip someone, or they'll do whatever they feel they need to. And if they don't succeed, their mothers will pull strings behind the scenes to do so. And as we become more mature, we start to realize that competition is meant to inspire us. It's that you can learn from the competition. So instead of getting all upset and making it all about the trophy, you could just do your best to be even 1% better than you were the last time you competed. And if everybody on the team does that, and you all come together and do that, the next time you go out, that will add up to a lot of really good energy. And this is true in any competition. You're basically in competition with yourself and the last best version of whatever you did of yourself, and bettering that and learning from the competition to do it. We have a Page of Cups coming in. So the cups in tarot do represent love, and quite often romantic, but sometimes they represent love of family and this type of more maternal energy. This can represent, but this usually represents romantic love. The pages would work for the king and the queen in the palace, and they would generally come from outlying, like, families in the area that were like higher society families, more educated. And you have to remember, back in those days, the life expectancy was about half of what it is now. So they would start work very early, around 7 to 14 years of age. And this energy, like they would basically be responsible for running communication and running small errands, etc. Around the throughout the palace. And then when they got older, if they were still there and they were doing a really good job, they might even be considered for knighthood when they turned 21. And as long as they had enough pentacles to purchase their own horse. So if this energy, the Page of Cups, is representing some sort of communication coming in. It's also representing kind of like an age of 7 to 14, and then maybe from 14 to 21. So elementary school, high school, to when you're going to university, that type of age, going to college. And it doesn't have to mean that it is someone delivering the message is that age, but there could be some information about maybe when you were that age that's coming back through now, with the page information coming through. And this in the old days would always be a male, but very easily now could be a female in her masculine energy. All of the characters in tarot are actually archetypes, so they're not gender specific, meaning that this could be a male or a female in their masculine energy. And like this Empress or the Queens could be a male or female in their feminine energy. So just keep that in mind. This is saying there's some sort of communication coming in, and somebody, this page, he knows that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he has his eye on this one in this cup, and that's the one that he is focused on. So this can represent that someone has their eye on you, or you have your eye on someone else. And this could be going back to, if you're a couple already, that going back to when you were a specific age, like before the age of 21, basically. There could be some information that you don't know about, or something happening at that time. All right, we're going to continue here, and we have the there's some sort of healing that this is the energy that I'm getting, some sort of healing of something that happened when you were younger, like under the age of 21. And this is representing moving off from rough waters to less chaos. And it's about, the energy is talking about an adult and a child here, representing that inner child energy. You notice there's no baggage. The conveyor is having to push through the like rough water and deep into the mud. He has to really push off hard to get out of this chaotic energy and move on to calmer shores. And the swords in tarot represent the element of air. And it's about your mental intelligence and discipline of your mind and overthinking, or, that type of energy. And I feel like this is it's talking about something that happened when you were a child, and your inner child needs some healing. And that could be affecting your situation now, whatever is happening here. So some communication is coming in about that. It's really interesting. I'm not sure what this is about as of yet. Remember, this in the old days, with the communication would always be in person, but this could be like some information coming in from an email. It could be a phone call, a text message. It could represent something coming in the mail, documents, that sort of, results from tests, or that type of energy. This could represent a certificate, a degree, that also maybe, you could be on social media and get a message from someone, or go to an event that's posted there, and when you attend the event, that's when you run into someone that has the perfect answer for you to solve your problem. So that's the kind of energy that we get from the pages. And then we have the Magician. And the Magician is saying that you do have infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond, as above, bringing your thoughts down to earth to create a beautiful garden. You have all the tools that you need. You just have to learn how to use the tools, and which tool to use to be able to be in this infinite potential here. And you notice, like the Magician, This is an energetic upgrade. So this information coming in, the magician is pointing to the Page of Cups and to the Emperor, and the Emperor back up. So interesting. So this is basically saying the problem is not with the Empress, it's with the Emperor. Okay, so now we know that there's something about this, and I feel when the Emperor was younger, I don't know, let's keep going here. And then we have walking away from the relationship. There's 8 cups of energy here. So this is like, this can represent 8 years, that type of energy. And it can also be that there's 8 cups here. But there's 5 lined up perfectly here. And then there's 2, and then there's a gap. Sometimes this can represent a third party involvement that brings, separates a couple. So perhaps the Emperor decided, well, maybe I'm going to leave this relationship. That happens in a lot of times in the history. If if the queens in the old days, if they kept having girls instead of boys, they were the ones that got blamed for it. And maybe it was more to do with the Emperor. Interesting. So I don't know, but why in this day and age is this story coming up? I'm not sure. But I guess it doesn't have to be a public thing. It could just be like that's how maybe some information came in, some medical information came in, and about their ability to produce, right? And it came up that it wasn't the Empress that's infertile, it's the Emperor that is infertile. But he didn't believe it and walked off and said, I don't believe that. I'm going to go and see if I can produce a child. Or she leaves and says, you know what? I want to have a baby more than anything. And so that's what I'm going to do. This is weird. So let's take that baby idea and let's put it into context that this could be like a project that is like a baby to you. It could be your some project you're working on that's really important to you, and you really, really, really want it to succeed, and it's like a baby. How sometimes people will say, oh, that, even if they're working on a car or something, they'll say, well, that's my baby. That type of energy. Because it just seems like strange in this day and age that it would be like that. But I do feel for someone that this is definitely an issue. And then we have soulmates. So this card has been coming up in the readings a lot in the last week in particular. So the soulmates are talking about the perfect couple coming together on a spiritual level. And they come together, they have an agreement on a soul level that they will meet up with each other, and they will empower each other to stay on their journey despite anything that's happening. And so this energy is coming through now after one of these two walks away from the other one for whatever reason. Okay, it doesn't have to be about a baby, but it's coming up. I don't know why. And then this is talking about the soulmate energy is someone that would be very different from someone that you would normally get together with. But when you get to talking, it's like, hey, we have a lot in common. Like, this happened to me when I was this age. That happened to me when I was that age. And this is talking about each of these people individually is highly connected to source energy. And this is also a healing energy. This is the Hermes symbol representing communication and health. It's a Virgo energy. And this is talking about being highly connected to source and being able to communicate at a high intuitive level. Now, this is what I refer to as the higher self network, HSN, so that you have it's like being on the internet. But on the internet you log on and you log off, whereas when you're on the higher self network, it's available to everybody. You don't have to put in, you don't have to pay for it or anything like that. This is talking about, the higher self network, you're in constant communication, whether you're aware of it or not. You don't have to log on or log off. You're already logged on. You just might not be aware that you are. So this is being connected to source energy, which the Empress and the Emperor both really generally are. So we'll see what's going on here. It seems like one of them walks away, and perhaps that's when they meet. One of them meets their soulmate, and this is the never-ending nightmare. And I feel like this is ending the never-ending nightmare of this disappointment after disappointment. And if it's about having a male child rather than female children, that that like there are some cultures where it's a big deal, and so this will say that this could be the never-ending nightmare of this energy, but when the soulmate comes along, it shifts. And this is like a higher level of viewing the situation. And this sometimes could represent someone that's connected so highly to the source energy now that they are able to receive enlightenment in the wee hours of the morning, perhaps through their dreams, or the Holy Spirit comes over them and they wake up, and this is them trying to remember, what was that dream about? What did that dream say I needed to do? And it's also saying this quilt has cosmic symbols on it, saying that universe does have you covered. And so this can represent the information that you need coming in from the higher self network, letting you know, okay, this is what you need to do to end this nightmare. And I noticed that the carvings on here, there's people actually fighting with swords, and I thought, maybe don't sleep on if you're having trouble sleeping, don't sleep on a bed frame that has people fighting and you're sleeping on that. That could have been the problem. That might be, the solution could be that simple. We have the moon energy. This is talking about hidden secrets, illusions coming through. And, we do have that blue moon coming up. Like it's, what is it? This will be on the 27th. 28 tonight, yeah. So we're getting really close where we're feeling that blue moon energy. And it has been an emotional month for a lot of people anyway, because a blue moon is when you have 2 full moons in 1 month. So we had one on March 1st and we have one on March 31st. So this is going to keep everybody hopping in the entertainment, hospitality industry, and like if anyone who's in law enforcement or working at the hospital, quite often at full moons and a few days before and after, it can be, people are like act out more than usual. And so this can be, we've had like this happens about every 2.5 to 3 years. And so this energy is quite intense. And it's talking about being able to stay on your path even when you're emotionally, like feeling a lot of emotion. And this is talking about, he's climbing out of the emotional waters, but this, this lobster is feeling very vulnerable. I have to crawl past this dog and this wolf, and they're howling at the moon. And I feel so vulnerable, but I'm determined to stay on my path, and I want to get going. He has to stay in between these 2 pillars. This also talks about eclipses, like the sun and the full moon and the new moon are all showing here. So this energy is talking about the eclipse season as well. So there's a lot of moon energy right now. We just had an eclipse season on February 17th and March 3rd. So that energy sticks with us for about 6 months. A lot of change happens with that eclipse energy as well. So there's a lot of information coming out that maybe was secretive before. And look at this. Now there's a cup of love coming in. And this is the knight in shining armor that saves damsels in distress kind of energy. Yeah, this is a hard reading to read because it just seems like, maybe it's just like, for me, I have 2 children, and I was just happy they were healthy. Whether they were girls or boys, or and I was thrilled when I found out I was pregnant, because I was told that it could be very difficult for me to get pregnant. So there could be that kind of energy. If babies come from God, and if they're supposed to come through, they come through. So I feel like it's talking about, okay, so now there's a knight in shining armor coming in. I do feel this is on the soulmate energy after one of these two walking away from this relationship. And it doesn't have to be because of this, but there definitely was like the lifestyle wasn't working between them. That's the energy. And so this is the knight that you read about in all the novels, and in the movies. So this is a solid offer of love coming in, and we have the Page of Swords, and this person is like a breath of fresh air. I do feel that this is running on the Empress energy. I feel that the Emperor walked away because he didn't believe that it was about him, and he said, "I'm getting me a new woman, and I'll prove to you that I can make a baby." It's that type of energy. But for her, this is a breath of fresh air, because maybe this is someone, a soulmate's like, whatever happens, happens. It doesn't matter. I love you no matter what. That type of energy. That's the Knight of Cups kind of energy. So this could be like a breath of fresh air after going through all this. And this could be this energy coming in, oh, okay, this, just chill out. Quit worrying about it so much. And I know of two different couples that adopted children because they were told they couldn't get pregnant and they weren't having any luck. And then one of them, like, she was like quite pregnant, like 5 or 6 months pregnant, and didn't even know she was pregnant because she was told she couldn't, and they were in the process of adopting, and they ended up having, like, she had a baby. And the funny thing was that she was having trouble carrying past the 3rd month, the danger period. And because she didn't know she was pregnant, she didn't worry. And then, so she got past the danger period, and then they were already in the adoption process. And so they ended up with 2 babies, like less than a year apart. So, but it was a beautiful gift for them. And that's a lot you hear those stories quite often about people who are told they can't have children, and then they decide they're going to adopt. And then when the pressure is off, all of a sudden they find they're pregnant. It does happen. So I feel like that's the kind of energy. I don't know, this is a different reading, but I'm enjoying it. It's kind of I don't know, it's a story. It's a tale. And so this energy, I feel like it's saying, though, like, never give up on your dreams, basically. So this, a nightmare could turn into a beautiful, fantasy that comes true. So this is talking about a breath of fresh air coming in, letting your mind rest and just letting it go, leaving it up, hey, surrender it. Whatever, if it's meant to happen, it'll happen. And if it's not meant to happen, quit trying to force the energy. I feel that's the energy. And normally that's how the Empress is. And that's why she is so, known for having such bumper crops, etc. But this is the one thing that matters the most to her. So she's not neutral about it. And that's the problem. She's worrying. And so worrying never gets you anywhere. And this is talking about some information coming in. And you notice how this page, he's not looking at the sword, at the element. And that's because he already logically knows what the question is. He's looking for a creative solution. So he's looking away from the logic, and he's thinking outside the box and thinking, okay, what's a creative solution to this problem? That type of energy. Yeah, and so that's some more information coming in. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. Now, what the heck is this about? So the 3 of Pentacles energy is talking that you're in an elevated position. Generally, this means in an elevated position in your work. So this could be, for some of you, this could be about work, and things haven't been going well. And then when you quit worrying about it, you get that promotion, or you get, like, this is talking about being in an elevated position, but not being able to find the work that you want, or not being able, I feel like in this case, it's talking about not feeling like you're able to elevate your work to the next level because no one's noticing the good work. And now we have two people here that want to collaborate. So this is really good news. Now this card, I feel like really good about this energy coming through here. This is saying that they recognize this energy. Now be careful, this card is saying, that you make sure that this is about lifestyle, remember? So make sure that whoever you're collaborating with is in alignment with what you want in your lifestyle. This is really important in this situation. But I feel like they really are impressed with your work. And sometimes this can represent secret society energy and it can have loopholes, etc. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this is a breath of fresh air. It's more like this energy actually sees the value of your work where maybe other people think that it's not valuable for whatever reason that is. And then we have the Knight of Swords coming in with some more information. And this is about like the Knight of Swords can sometimes be seen as a fool rushing in. He could be running from something or he could be running towards something. And so he might be coming towards this information to say, you know, look at who is he running towards? I don't know. Is this the Emperor? Is this the Empress? What is this energy? But in any case, it's saying there's some sort of information coming in, but this is someone has a lot of anxiety. You know, he's got a red flag on the back of his helmet. We can't see his whole sword, so he might only have half the information. We don't see the point. Maybe he can't either. This is, the horse represents like passion and heartfelt energy. But this horse is totally anxious. Like he's pushing this horse so hard through barren land against the wind. And even the clouds are like cut. And you notice this is the Page of Swords energy when they were younger. Like this is them now as a knight. So interesting. So there's that energy I was telling you about here, that it could be something that happened. Okay, we're getting back to this Empress energy, I feel that what this is saying is a creative solution that the Page of Swords came to is that the reason why this isn't coming about is because you're worrying about it. It's the anxiety that's causing the problem. That's why you can't see the solution. Isn't that okay? So this is supposed to be here and this is here. I feel that this is basically saying, quit being so worried about it. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. The worry that it's not going to happen is the very reason why it's not happening. And that is exactly what I feel like it's saying. So then we have this situation here where this person is now, this is someone who's standing on the precipice of change and they want to be on a new adventure, and they could be in a couple and they may be adding a third wand to the couple. So this could be about having this project come through, this baby, if that's what the project is, come through. This can also be talking about the Emperor leaving this couple and going on an adventure of his own, like jumping ship. That's the energy that I'm feeling. So it could be the Empress jumped ship or the Emperor jumped ship, but one of them that is on a new adventure. And the reason why this Empress energy is not able to produce is the very reason, because she's worrying. And as soon as she quits worrying, and this might be saying, go on an adventure, and then, you know, just go on a holiday. Forget about it. Just let it go. And then this third wand, this might come through. And if it doesn't, you'll be enjoying yourself on a beautiful adventure. Okay, so life is meant to be an adventure. And there's reasons why babies come in and there's reasons why babies don't. And so this is talking about that adventure, like that result. I feel like this is a really different reading. It's hard to read. So I'm going to clarify it for sure. But I feel like, this energy could be very significant to someone out there, or a few people. Not necessarily about a baby, but maybe about something that you really want really, really bad. And that's the problem. You want it so bad. Quit wanting it badly. Worrying about it is not bringing it to fruition. Interesting. Okay. I feel like this is really, really, really good advice. So the Empress goes on it. She goes to heal this inner child energy, this fear that she has, and it gives her an energetic upgrade and a breath of fresh air to just let go and recognize that if this is meant to happen, it will happen. And then like chill out and go on a vacation, let it go, quit thinking about it, quit worrying about it. The very thing, the worry is the very reason why it's not happening. Aha. And that is not just about babies. That could be about a lot of things in life. If you have something that you've been very worried about and it just won't, like you can't quit thinking about it, that's the reason why it's not happening, is because you're not letting go of the worry. You have to get neutral to it. And then this is talking about the moon energy, hidden illusions around that are coming to the surface, and that you are getting the information, you're just not hearing it. And then this is talking about, having that love and that for yourself to quit worrying about it. You're perfect the way you are. If it's not happening, it's not meant for you. There's something better out there. You need to maybe sail away for a little while. Give your mind a rest. Is basically use your intuition here. Feel like that's it, because this reward is trying to come through to you, and it might be different from what you expect, and that's because it's even better. So expectations always create limitations. All right, let's go here. Let's see what's happening here. I feel like I'm starting to understand what this reading's about more now. All right, so look at this. We have the Empress on the Empress. The numbers on these cards represent the paintings as they're listed in my gallery on my website. The information will be down below. So we already know that the reward, it's almost like this energy of I'd rather be better than bitter. Okay, so getting bitter about it, being in worry about it is the reason why it's having more trouble coming through. This reward is trying to come through, and it may not be what you think you want. It might be, maybe it's something that you need rather than something that you want. Or maybe you don't need what you want, but you still want it anyway. It's that type of energy. Or maybe you want it so badly that you're stopping it from happening. Quit wanting for it badly, want for it goodly. Interesting. So the Empress is, again, remember, you're the Empress. You are all about being able to manifest what you're neutral to. Get neutral. The star energy is about you are a star no matter what. You are meant to be a happy, productive energy. And what's interesting is the star in my tarot, in my oracle, is actually the Empress's baby that she finally has, is the star card in the in the oracle. Interesting. You'd think I would have figured this out sooner, considering I'm the one that did the oracle. That's why I need to keep working on it, because the cards come out in such different ways. The dragon energy, they have a real good sense of humor. So this adolescent is talking again about this Cancer energy. And this is what's talking about. I've been talking about this in my Blue Moon readings, and I'm going to do a reading for the astrology readings pretty quick in the next day or so. Because on June 9th, there's an energy, both Jupiter and Venus are going to be in the sign of Cancer for one day on June 9th. And a lot of astrologers are saying this is the most lucky day of the year. And some are even saying luckiest day of the year, of the decade, on June 9th. And I'm going to look into that some more. This is, Venus is about love, and Jupiter is about happy-go-lucky energy and about being able to, it's about manifesting in the 3D at a very high level. Really good fortune. So, and they are both going to be in the sign of Cancer for that one day. I promise that we'll be doing a reading on that coming up. Attachment, yes, the karmic space of attachment. It's the mother of all attachments, because if you get attached to something, then it's a karmic space that you'll do it. Like sometimes we can be attached to someone or something, and we're like a dog with a bone, and we're not going to let it go, and we're chewing on an old bone. And it's time that we need to look at the situation in a different way. And so the energy here is what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine. So it's about looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe instead of being jealous of other people who have what you want, you need to be in a position of changing what you want or quit wanting it so badly. Trauma queen. This is like, a lot of drama around this, and it causes a lot of being in a state of worry is challenging. It makes it more challenging to become pregnant. And even that is true even if your baby is a business or whatever it is. If you're constantly worrying about it, it sucks the joy out of it. This is supposed to be an energetic upgrade. It's reminding you this is supposed to be an energetic upgrade. It's not supposed to be like a duty. Okay, so that's the energy. In God's eyes, male, female, it doesn't matter what the baby is. That baby is going to be a gift from God. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune coming through. So this is again talking about this energy shifting now. All three wheels are coming into place into God's plan, and it's moving forward for you. And it's coming in quickly here. So the Chariot is like runs over obstacles. Get out of my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my path now. And look we have the Lovers coming in. Having a lover that adores you, whether or not you produce children or you produce this or you produce that. Having a lover that is your soulmate, that just loves you. That's a novel concept. And then we, in this reading, and then we have, this is a whole new world, getting neutral to it, allowing the universe to provide you with what you want. It reminds me sometimes, like the universe, you'll be saying, oh, I really want to earn $100,000 this year. Like, that's my goal. And the universe is going, 100,000. I was going to say $1 million, but if that's all you want. And you're like, no. So this is coming out. Expectations takes you on a foolish journey. If you have expectations of how your life is supposed to go, and it has to be in a certain way, and the person that you're with has to be a certain way, you could be like, that's creating a lot of limitations for you being able to have the reward that you want. And you just don't know that that's what you want, because you're focused on an expectation instead of anticipating having a good life. And then we have the third eye coming in, insightful, having the insight to go after what you want. Like this energy here, it could provide you with a breath of fresh air. And then you would be going on a foolhardy journey. Tell you, my oracle has a great sense of humor. All right, so then you could anticipate your journey. I should have gotten this earlier, but I'm a little thick tonight, I guess. I'm a little bit on the tired side today. All right, I didn't know I was tired until I started doing this reading. All right, I do hope you've enjoyed this. I really appreciate your likes and comments, and consider subscribing if you resonate. It really does, it would be an honor for me if you did so. Bye for now.